Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for nobody's favorite segment, and it is called the Sicko segment. So Wrestling Mark 16 is like, some will remember Hulk Hogan as the face of the most popular period in pro wrestling history. By the way, this is very much like people melting down about Hulkster. Others for the greatest heel turn of all time and subsequent angle that changed pro wrestling as we knew it. I'll remember him simply as a racialist. Hope it's hot down there, brother. So again, just the IWC showing their true colors. So Ozzy Osbourne, WWE legend, passed away as well, and Ryan Satin deleted his post. So he made a post. He's like, because somebody made some AI thing of Hulk Hogan and Ozzy Osbourne in heaven, and he was like putting Ozzy. He didn't say about Hulk because he's a sour grapes bitch. About Ozzy, he's like putting Ozzy in heaven is the most disrespectful thing you could do to the Prince of Darkness. And then I just posted this because it's like well known, but Ozzy was a Christian before his death, and even back in 2022, Ozzy gave Youngblood his cross, so he was spreading his faith. I just wanted to own Satin, right? In his last show ever, Youngblood gave Ozzy back a custom cross. Metalheads are not bad people, probably the sweetest and most humble people you will meet. Everyone says that about their community, but yeah, Ozzy in 1971 said, "Could it be you're afraid of what your friends might say? If they knew you believed in God above, they should realize, therefore they criticize that God is the only way to love." Satin just trying to like be a cute, smarmy asshole about Ozzy and not saying about Hulkster. And Vince McMahon is like, the world lost a treasure today. He puts out a statement about Hulk. Suit Williams goes, "You're next." You ain't gonna do Suit. Shut the fuck up. Ibou just has some dumb. Yeah, I posted this. It went kind of minusculely viral. Ibou had this to say. He's like, Vince McMahon is going to pass at some point, probably soon, and there will be people on here that go, seriously, guys, come on, show some class. He created WrestleMania. Be better than that. And then Tim Jarrell of PW Unlimited goes, "This is the most I'm looking for attention and engagement tweet I've seen all day. Facts." And then Ibou goes, "Wrong. I'd actually rather not have controversial mentions and don't care about engagement." Ibou, you're a hypocrite, bro. No, you're a liar, dude. You don't tweet anything out if it's not for engagement. You wouldn't have a blue check if you didn't want engagement. You wouldn't report. You wouldn't have a Discord that charges $5 if you didn't want people to go get the $5. To do not aggregate and tell your truth, bro, and all this wrong. I'd actually rather not have controversial mentions and don't care about engagement. Then you would not have a Twitter account, stupid. Well, I just like to look at news and give my takes. Okay, for what? For validation from other people. It's like when women pretend they're like, "Oh, girl, I just put on this makeup for me." No, you don't. So Ibou just getting owned by Tim Jarrell, shout him out. And then, yeah, I just screen grabbed it. And I'm like, of course, this asshole has a dumb take followed by hypocritical. Shut up already. You're washed in a hack. So Schiavone had a bunch of sickos going after him. So did Chelsea Green. You're damned if you do. You're damned if you don't. If you cater to a certain section of an audience, and these sickos, they're just cancel pigs. They're going to eat up each other. Chelsea Green sent condolences to Hulk Hogan. So then a bunch of sickos attack her. Same with Tony Schiavone. He sent condolences. A bunch of sickos attack him. He says that me and Hulk weren't friends, but he was my colleague. And he just clarified the air, which is, what's wrong with that? A bunch of wackos attack him. Chelsea Green apologizes to sickos for condolences to Hulk Hogan. A bunch of wackos attack her. And so she quit social media. Tony Schiavone's arguing and going on a blocking spree. I'm unblocked by Schiavone. But he says, "I hope when I die, they say, well, at least he exposed Tallow Rugby for being a piece of shit." And Tallow Rugby's like, "You're just sad people caught you being sly. Say something nice or shut the fuck up. Even if you were just coworkers, that was disrespectful. I wonder who's going to say nice things when you die." He just said that they weren't. I said the same thing when Kevin Castle died. Am I a piece of shit? I said I didn't know him. We weren't friends. We weren't even friends. We were acquaintances. I think I did a stream with him one time. I think maybe once I did a show with him. I didn't really know him. Am I a scumbag? Like, what the man? These people are sick on both sides, dude. MJ from NJ posts, this dude came back from knows where after disappearing the minute bots get brought up to literally post about Hogan in the most vile ways. So this King Gao guy, he's like, "I'm taking a break." So Niccolo Piccolo, right? We're going to go down conspiracy lane here. All right, let's run in X-Files here. And none of this is from, I'm not saying Nicolo Piccolo has any insight even to what MJ's talking about here, but he starts going off about like, it's interesting, all these bot accounts, and they seem to be coming from the same places, documented. And he kept tweeting that shit out, right? Documented, documented. And so this King Gao guy pieces out as that's going on. And so he's like, got a really dope opportunity at my job, which I'll be spending the next month or so overseas between the crazy time zone difference and wanting to make sure I have a fire experience over there. I won't be live tweeting AEW, the G1, or making any content for Selfmade or blah, blah, blah. King Gao, isn't he like a host on one of these shows or something, though? I think this guy, yeah, he might actually be like a like Ibou's guy or something, right? But either way, because of the time zone difference, he won't be tweeting about shit, but New Japan's all on a mass time zone difference. So, but then he pops up out of nowhere to go, Hulk Hogan, you old dead racist bitch, I'm smoking on you. Hulk Hogan packing my fucking lungs. Like you did anything. Like you did anything. You in my lungs. Like you smoked him or something. You're a dumb fuck, Terry. You couldn't kick out this time, could you? No hulking up. Imagine being this much of a scumbag, dude. This is a really hurt person who like really, really, really needs help, you know, like a very sad person who probably had horrendous shit happen to them as a kid. And he's like, this biggest fucking losers alive are crying because normal people are celebrating. No, you're not the normal people. You're the chronically online sick fucking losers who only get validation through Twitter. And all you can do is shit for shock value like this, make up stories, and attack dead people because you're a fucking uncreative hack, King Gao, who couldn't do anything of substance in real life or in a field where you'd actually have any amount of pushback or be challenged in any form or fashion. That's what this is. He spent the last years of his life hanging out with KKK members and Yahtzees. Yeah. Where? Name them. Point to who. Show me who. Without looking like a complete retard in the process. Point out to who was a KKK member or a Yahtzee. Show me. While promoting his piss beer. Cry. Anyways, moving along. So this was pretty ruthless. Peter Rosenberg and Jim Cornette got into it. I'm going to get into that. I'm going to circle back to that in a minute because Tessa Blanchard caught some heat for sticking up for Hulk Hogan. Shout out at X, Bubba Matt X. He sort of popped up on the scene in the IWC and he's just keeping it real. He says that he's had it with the Tessa Blanchard hate and he was sticking up for Hulkster as well. Let's hear his take. I did find it pretty intriguing, and Tessa Blanchard was catching heat for sticking up for Hulkster as well.
Dude, I've had it. Okay, I've had it with the Tessa Blanchard hate. When are you people gonna let it go and move on? When? This past weekend at Slammiversary, every time when Tessa Blanchard came out, had her match against Indy Hartwell, all this, she's a racist chant, she's a racist. Oh my gosh, man. When are you people gonna move on? She's literally apologized to the person that she was racist towards. What's the name? La Rosa Negra? They literally took a picture on social media together. They've made up and moved on. Why can't you? Why do you insist on holding a grudge? Take it from someone who's done it for more than 10 years, and I'm ashamed of it. Okay? I've done it. So take it from me. Holding a grudge against somebody does not help you at all. Whether you know it or not.
It's just because they don't feel these are people who like are void of feelings and are on pills to balance out their fucking bullshit they got going on in their fucking heads, and they just need to feel something, and they get that from Twitter. And they don't get that from other things, so they don't look at people as humans and shit, dude.
It only hurts you. It only hurts you. But of course you're not going to listen. I know that. You're wrestling fans. Of course you're going to hold a grudge against somebody that had nothing to do with you. Well, you know what? Since you want to stay pissed off at Tessa Blanchard, I'm going to piss you off even more. I'm going to buy me a Tessa Blanchard shirt, and I'm going to wear it to a wrestling show or any wrestling show whenever I want. And what are you going to do about it? Huh? What you going to do about it? Not a single thing.
So here are the bots come out. FTR follow the revolution, man, defending Tony Khan, of course. I'm just going to leave this here. AEW has paid tribute to the following: Steve Mongo McMichael, Antonio Inoki, didn't even spell Inoki right. Mitsuharu Misawa, Rocky Johnson, Shad Gaspard, Mako Satomura. Mako Satomura's not dead, bro. Hana Kimura, Sabu tribute. Bray Wyatt, Terry Funk, Hayabusa, Virgil. AEW pays tribute to Owen Hart every year with the Owen Cup, donated money to many charities. St. Jude's charity donated single penny their partnership money towards, he means every single penny, towards the wildfires in Maui. The list goes on and on. So he's just defending AEW here. I'm just going to leave this here. AEW under fire for ignoring Hulk Hogan's passing. Disco saying, so AEW is really staying silent on Hulk Hogan passing today. Did I miss something? I don't even get the point that this guy's trying to make. Yeah, he's just defending Tony Khan. That's all he's really doing. TNA Slammiversary got a 2.96 rating on the fucking cage match site. And then AJ Francis goes, brother, the people who rate on that website are fucking losers. I have match of the year in TNA and my rating is lower than this. Please stop giving a fuck what these dorks think. Nobody who gets pussy rates on cage match. So Chelsea Green apologized to wrestling fans for her comment about Hulk Hogan's legacy. So we read this already. She put a tweet out saying, a significant part of my role at WWE involves engaging with people and public, responding to questions, often on live platforms. Yesterday, I was asked to comment on Hulk Hogan on live TV. Let me be clear. My stance on racialism is unwavering. I do not condone it, period. If my response or tweet seemed dismissive of real concerns, I sincerely apologize. That was never my intention. I try to acknowledge a death respectfully, even when the legacy is complicated. I am learning one day at a time and will continue to learn. And then she eventually is like, I have to get off Twitter. Like, I deleted my Twitter or whatever after fucking, or privated it and dipped out, or however, whatever you call it these days, right? However Elon's got it set up. She dipped out for a while, okay? It's unfortunate that she's been ran off and she got attacked from one side and then got attacked from the other side. And it sucks, right? But that's what happens when you cater to certain audiences. I just got to be honest. There's a lot of these like cancel pig wokey types who, you know what I mean? They just pretend that they're all perfect and they've never done anything wrong in their lives ever, and that you have to all live the same way or else you don't belong in our circle and you're not allowed, and you have to speak and talk and act the exact same way and like what everyone likes, or else you're not welcome and we're going to cancel you or whatever. So it's really stupid. But Sidgwick says, The Undertaker is a massive mark. Sidgwick, you're saying this. The Undertaker's a massive mark and the Trick stuff was awful, but it's different to DX burying the revival or whatever. Modern WWE fans actually see it as a rub. It's a bizarre way to do things, but the company fandom relationship is bizarre too. No, it's not bizarre because you're dumb and don't understand it. It's not bizarre because you don't understand what actually works in pro wrestling for popular television and shit. Now it's this excuse of, well, they eat it up, but they're just stupid. No, you're a dumb fuck, bro. That's what it is. You're that fucking guy. You're that pompous asshole douchebag nobody likes. So this guy, M'Baku Creed, says, yeah, I'm going to start purchasing another brand of spices. It's cool you have the right to support who you support, but I've made my last Meat Church purpose. So Meat Church, this brand that makes fucking barbecue seasoning, put out a thing saying like R.I.P. Hulk Hogan. And he's like, because I loved Hulk Hogan, the wrestler, as a 10-year-old. What in the world is wrong with people in 2025? 1985 Matt isn't going to apologize for being a wrestling fanatic. Sorry, your baby barbecue won't be as good going forward. Just owned him. Jimmy Corderas slams Hogan haters for celebrating his death too soon because Bubba the Love Sponge floated out rumors about what was going on with him. And people already were jumping on it before Hogan was even actually passed away. And Corderas said the speed with which many wanted to take a Hogan-hated vitriolic victory lap over a man's death was telling. A man who had many flaws, but who revolutionized an industry and broke through in a manner that is not hyperbolic to say the industry of wrestling is not the same without him. More full of shit than a backed-up sewer pipe. And he just went off on them. And I encourage you all to check out Jimmy Corderas on X. And yeah, he's not wrong, man. The IWC just showed their ass. It was incredibly disappointing. One section of it, you know? But FTR Follow the Revolution responds to Eric Bischoff on Ariel Helwani and says, I will be honest and transparent. Eric is the reason why I really love wrestling. However, it just feels as if he can't just be happy for another company succeeding. That's not his. He damaged WCW beyond belief. No, all you people are mentally ill. This is what happened. Eric Bischoff has a podcast. He voices his honest concerns with AEW. They spin it into fuck Eric Bischoff. He's a shill. Dave Meltzer and everyone starts talking shit about him. And then Tony Khan doesn't let AEW wrestlers do interviews with anybody anymore for a little while there, unless your name's MJF. And then it pissed them off and they said, fuck them. And they hear behind the scenes the type of shit that's being talked about them, because everybody talks in wrestling. And Tony Khan's got a little boys and girls fucking high school, middle school clique club going on over there. FTR says he damaged WCW beyond belief. I feel Eric can bring valid points to the table if he wasn't just taking shot after shot to AEW. He just feeds the IWC to bring the promotion down. That's not fair to AEW and the fans who try to give it a chance. It's an utter sham, dude. And that's in response to like him talking about AEW and then Eric Bischoff's friend dying and all that. So Chelsea Green, we covered it. She just said that she's stepping away from social media. Hopefully we'll see her back. This guy here made this video, or here's just a group of mentally ill people talking about Hulk Hogan. Oh, sorry. Talking about Hulk Hogan here.
You think we give a... we don't care? Oh, Hulk Hogan died. Maybe we can get Kid Rock next.
Hulk Hogan's fucking dead. Hulk Hogan's fucking dead. Shut the fuck up.
That lady right there is gonna die alone with cats and no husband.
We're not actually mourning this motherfucker's death, are we?
This dude, like, literally is autistic. Doesn't know what he's doing. I put no blame on you, son. Your parents should be watching your internet time.
I see through you. I know how you convince all these fools here that you're some kind of a hero, but I see right through you, man.
Look at that guy. Oh my god.
The half-wit, better known as Hulk Hogan, has passed on, and I, for one, am happy about it.
If you haven't heard, Hulk
Fucking jobber Briscoe.
Hogan had a heart attack last night. All that hatred balled up in his chest. All that shit finally did its job. Took a long time. Took way too long, in my opinion. And for any...
I bet this guy right here doesn't live to 71.
Buddy who's like, the left is celebrating the passing. How dare... Fuck him, you and your mother. Okay? I just want you to know that from the bottom of my spirit.
It's funny how, like, these, like, small pupil-eyed pillhead dumb fucks say this, fuck you and your mother. You would never say that to anyone in person. Moving along here, Bully Ray gets into the fray. He responds to this guy. So Mike Sullivan's like, nah. So Bully Ray's like, 10 bells and an amazing emotional tribute package. WWE got it right. God bless Hulk Hogan. Mike Sullivan, nah. Bully Ray, fuck you. Just mixing it up. And then people posting his racialist quote, okay, none of you are allowed to listen to Eminem anymore. Because he made a song saying the N-word multiple times and saying black women are ugly and that he wouldn't date them and they're ugly. Do you all listen to Eminem when he comes on? You're not allowed to anymore. You're all canceled. Fuck you. Can't hang on Eminem's nuts. He's a racialist. Never allowed ever to listen to his music again. Or else you're a hypocrite. Go and check all their timelines, chat. So Suit Williams again, just with a terrible take, has me blocked because he's a dumb fucking loser. He says, when WCW died, 3 million people stopped watching wrestling and never came back. Imagine how many people never watch wrestling again when their territory died at Vince's hands. It's inarguable that while WWF got more popular, pro wrestling got less popular. It's inarguable, he says. There were dozens of territories where guys could get consistent, well-paying work before Vince eventually... he whittled it down to one. God, man, these guys have no clue what they're talking about. What do you even say to this reply? How on earth could you be this oblivious? Oh, wrestling columnist, a contributor, Voices of Wrestling, Observer, fan-sided. Sue Williams is just, he works for Voices of Wrestling and the Observer, bro. Like, leave it to them to just hire the stupidest bottom-of-the-barrel scum off your fucking shoe. So Schiavone battling it out with Sicko. Stay classy, dude, he says. Mick Foley had this to say. He says that he urges wrestling fans to show compassion during tragedies. He says, I wish we in the wrestling community could all agree not to respond negatively to a wrestler's. I was going to do it in Mankind's voice, but fuck that. Wrestler's death for a minimum of 72 hours. No one's family should be subjected to such criticism after losing a loved one. Here is John Pollock and him covering Hogan and him bringing up a conspiracy theory, I think.
Thing in terms of like, I think it's just spurring on more questions about, his wife has come out and acknowledged that, he is going through health issues, and it's really been contained to like Bubba the Love Sponge has just been, putting out all these updates, and he's painted certainly a grim picture of where things are with Hogan. And it's like, again, I think like you want to, whatever he is going through, you kind of have to respect that privacy. But it is like, I think something like a Jimmy Hart putting this out, I think it's only encouraging more people to be asking questions about this when it's, oh, he was out at karaoke last night. Everything was great.
Do we know Hulk was out at karaoke?
That's what the tweet says.
Well, he says Hulk is doing great, doing phenomenal. Last night at karaoke with Nick was absolutely fantastic, baby. It doesn't necessarily indicate that.
Are you trying to say that like this was a Hulk Hogan update, and then separately, I had a great time at karaoke with Nick last night?
Could have been like he could have mentioned, hey, like I'm talking about Hulk Hogan
in a court of law. He could technically parse.
I'm talking about Hulk Hogan in the first sentence, and because
well, shut up, Pollock, for checking his co-hosts, like floating out a conspiracy. Like, what did you think Jimmy Hart was saying, you idiot?
As I was out with the Sun last night, I felt like I should tack it on to the end of the tweet.
Why is it relevant that him and Nick having karaoke was great?
Yeah, I don't know. What a dumbass. Like, why the fuck would that guy even throw that out there? So yeah, here's just these Auntie Collins from Fightful. This is my personal account. I do not care about where racialists go after they pass away. Yeah, but it's your personal account, but you represent a fucking organization. That's what these idiots who've never had real jobs and couldn't make it in the actual professional world don't understand. Rob Taker says he's looking up reading this right now. Hi, Hulkster. How's the weather in heaven, more southern Florida? And how was he a mascot for one whole election cycle, horribly tearing T-shirts as if they were made from steel? Auntie Collins, Hulk Hogan's racialism is impacting the way people feel about him. It has, I don't know. These are just all like low-level, low IQ, fucking angry people who don't have meaningful relationships in their lives and shit, and they think they're perfect people who should judge everybody, and they act like they've never done anything bad ever in their lives. And then you go knocking on the doors of the closet and skeletons start falling out. Kevin Nash called out black wrestlers for changing their stance on Hulk Hogan. So Kevin Nash had this to say about Peter Rosenberg. He said, so this Peter Rosenberg guy said Hogan should have been a man and should have eaten shit. Donald Trump ain't got to eat shit. Obviously, Hulk doesn't eat shit. I saw several black wrestlers when Terry was alive talk nothing but shit about him because of his comments. I can't put myself in that position because I'm white. But if you get a pass in death, then where's the line? Because these black wrestlers who were very vocal against him a few years ago are now singing his praises. Yes. So that's certainly a take. I mean, I don't know if it's worth it to get hung up on that aspect, but it's his friend, and it's a difficult. You're going through a lot of things. It's crazy he's even doing a pod that long after Hulkster dying and stuff. So listen, Kevin Nash, love him or hate him, he's allowed to have his opinion on that. Speaking of Kevin Nash and Peter Rosenberg got fucking owned. He started talking shit about Jim Cornette again. And I forget what his post even was. He said something about Jim Cornette. I can't even remember what it was. But he's like, oh, when this guy and your fucking co-host, blah, blah, blah. And Brian Last quote tweeted the response that Rosenberg put up, because he actually deleted it and apologized and backed down. So we've had Ricochet and Rosenberg back down from Cornette, because who wants that smoke, dude? Nobody. And Last is like, your thoughts are worthless. You know nothing about wrestling. Just keep sucking that WWE cock so they keep you around, kid. Love, Mr. Co-host. And Cornette had this to say. He's like, apparently the new theme song for people that get sideways with me on there is tweet, delete, tweet, tweet, delete. And Rosenberg, whatever he said, I forget. I don't want to paraphrase it. He says, apologies, Jim. You're a complete lunatic, but a legend. I'm not doing this with your podcast co-host, who I would not recognize or know a thing if my life depended on it. And that's what Brian Last responded to, because he's got an ego. Let's be honest. I love Last, but he's got an ego on him. And he says, I will say this. My thoughts on Goldberg were dead on. Yeah, he was spitting about Goldberg, in my opinion. But yeah, Rosenberg deleted that shit. So I'm sure someone has a screen grab. I didn't get to it. But it is all good. Speaking of didn't get to it, Mercedes Monet had this to say. She said, serious inquiries only ASAP now. If any fans are still at the arena right now, I'll sell my gear I wore tonight for $1,111. Let me know now. I'll meet you outside. So she's at Rev Pro, and she's like, I'll sell you my Ring War gear right now with the sweat on it if you meet me right now at the arena for $1,111.
You fucking mark!
Come on down.
You what?
That's crazy sicko shit, dude. Next, someone's gonna follow you home after Monet. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't stick around the building that long. So AEW Defender says some dumb shit like this. We covered it on the show. He's like, this girl is like a mini Kurt Angle and they want her to be a referee. Speaking about Layla Hirsch. And then we come to find out that Layla Hirsch reached out to WWE about becoming a ref. And of course, this AEW Defender guy doesn't really care about Layla Hirsch. And so she could wrestle circles around half their talent, but she doesn't look like a Barbie doll. She's too legit for WWE. And I had wrestlers like this, low-key. Like my response to this. And I said she can shoot wrestle circles around everyone. She can't pro wrestle circles around anyone on the roster. She should become a referee, make money, possibly wrestle on Evolve, and not listen to people who didn't give a fuck about her in AEW until WWE was interested. Speaking of not interested, Tony Khan has blocked Nicolo Piccolo, who says, hang it in the Louvre. I bet you the burners are still following. I haven't mentioned him in a week. It's weird he blocked him on Twitter when I bet $5 to anyone Nick has his phone number, could just call him on the phone. So he blocks him on Twitter. It's like, well, okay. It's just all for show, man. So again, we have sickos saying getting owned by Lance Storm. This guy, Spandex Pod. So do better work if you want to have a pod about wrestling. He says, so from what I understand, WWE NXT copied an old AEW angle this week by putting a nationalist makeover to a mid-card title and had Undertaker come out to pop a rating after the all-time low. So just like milking the hate on WWE. And then Lance Storm responds and goes, yeah, the flag on a belt deal is totally an AEW original idea. Lance Storm said fucking...
Shut up, bitch!
And oh, Canada, we do stand on guard for thee. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was our Sicko segment, which was way more fun than I thought.